Do you experience your anxiety mainly somatically or cognitively or both? What does that mean and why does it matter? That's what we're going to cover today. So, some people mainly experience their anxiety and worry through anxious thoughts. So, that is cognitive, and I'm going to give a few more examples in a moment. Other people primarily experience their anxiety somatically, which is in their body, and I'll give some examples of that. And some people are aware of both, but most people, particularly when they begin the journey of trying to become less anxious, are usually primarily aware of one of those or the other. And part of the process of recovery is increasing your awareness of the other one, so that even if temporarily that feels like things are getting worse, you're beginning to connect how you are all interrelated, how your thoughts connect to your physical body feelings, and how those connect to behavior. So, cognitive symptoms of anxiety can include excessive worry, your mind racing, indecisiveness, the inability to make a decision because you're going around and around the same information. They include catastrophizing, projecting into the future the worst possible outcome of the current situation. And cognitive symptoms can also be forgetfulness, decreased memory, a feeling that you're not remembering things because you probably aren't, because your mind is so consumed with the future and with the worries. And then the somatic symptoms can include tense muscles, a feeling of exhaustion, an upset stomach, sometimes nausea, sometimes a feeling you want to eat too much, sometimes a feeling you don't want to eat at all. Some people are aware of their heart pounding or racing, their pulse being high. Many things can be symptoms of anxiety: dizziness, sweating, headaches, diarrhea or constipation, dry mouth, flushing, shortness of breath. So, luckily, most people don't experience all of those, but many people will have a handful of somatic symptoms that come up when they're anxious. Now, if you've watched my video, Cognitive Behavioral Therapy Exercises, you'll be familiar with the cycle that I'm going to discuss in a moment, and I'm also going to show you a graphic of it. If you haven't seen that video, you may want to go back to it after this one. So, the basis of cognitive behavioral therapy is that our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors are all interconnected. So you will see many people describe cognitive behavioral therapy as your thoughts lead to feelings, which lead to behaviors. That's not completely accurate. Thoughts impact how you feel and how you behave. So you can see on this chart here, I have the arrows going both ways. How you behave is going to impact how you think and how you feel. And how you feel will impact how you think and how you behave. So all three of them connect with each other. They both are impacted by and impact the other. And this is incredibly important to understand and begin to sense how you experience this when you are worrying too much, anxious, physically or mentally. And this can apply for everybody who feels worry, anxiety, and stress. It does not necessarily have to be that you qualify for an anxiety disorder, but knowing this cycle can help you feel better. And I'm going to come back to that in a moment. But I also want to say that when I'm talking about somatic symptoms here, I'm not saying that you necessarily have a somatic anxiety disorder. Those are kind of a separate thing: health anxiety disorders and somatization. And I will do some videos on that coming up. So if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe and you'll be notified when I release new videos. And if you're watching this a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm very aware of how long these videos can stay around, you might be able to find it in my list of videos. So I will do some videos on that. But for right now, I'm talking about everyday worry and anxiety. And for all of us, we have somatic symptoms that go with it, whether we're aware of them or not. And another piece to this cycle is that feelings can be emotional feelings or they can be physical feelings. So the emotional feeling could be fear, worry, anxiety. Overall, I just don't want to feel so anxious. I don't like this emotional feeling that I'm having. And then the physical symptoms, people will sometimes focus on those. So I just want to point out that those are two different things. And in general, what I have found in working with people for 20 years is that people generally focus on, I want to feel better, whether it's emotionally better or physically better, I want to feel better. But the core of cognitive behavioral therapy is that you can't directly change your feelings. The interventions come in the place of changing how you think and changing how you behave. So, in the next couple of weeks, I'm also going to release a video on CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy for anxiety. And I will go into these cycles in a little more detail and then also talk a little bit more about the interventions, what you actually do about it. In the meantime, I have a couple suggestions for you. One would be to watch the video on cognitive behavioral therapy exercises. I think this will make a lot more sense in terms of what you can do about it. So that's one suggestion. Another suggestion is to increase your awareness of your cycle. Where is your anxiety starting and where does it lead to? So, for example, if your anxiety starts somatically, so increased heart rate, upset stomach, your mind is then going to go to, what is it I should be worrying about? I should be worrying about something because my body's telling me. So then you do begin to worry, and then your physical symptoms get worse, and then your emotional feelings get worse, and then you worry more. So that would be a little bit how the cycle might work for you, and increasing your awareness of how the thoughts, even if they come after that initial feeling, can make the cycle worse. Instead of having a thought of like, okay, I've felt this before and I've been fine. So, figuring out how the thoughts are contributing might be very helpful for you. And then for those people who are worry, 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 and just cut off no awareness of what's happening in the body, maybe increase your awareness of whether your pulse rate is up, whether your muscles are tense, and then see if you can adjust the physical feelings by doing some diaphragmatic breathing, relaxing your muscles. So, even if that's not your main symptom, see if you can change something there, which might then slow down your thoughts. If you're already keenly aware of both, of like the whole cycle, then again, in the cognitive behavioral therapy exercises video, it will help you figure out what behaviors and thought reframes you can implement to begin to calm this all down. Now, having said all this, we can't always do this on our own. We can't always change, particularly how we think and behave, all by ourselves. So, self help is great. And for some people, it's all that's needed. Other people need somebody, they need a separate perspective to help them make some of these changes. Now, I hear from people all over the world that they don't have access to therapy. So, I have become an affiliate of BetterHelp. I do have a link below. It is just one way to access mental health services. There are many, but if you do need outside help, I encourage you to get it. Lastly, I do have a free webinar on rewiring your brain for joy and confidence. How do you really rewire what's going on in here? And it's a free webinar, registration's required. Link, as usual, is below the video. So let me know what you think. Let me know if this video helped you increase your awareness of how you're experiencing your anxiety and worry, and whether it makes sense to you to try to increase your awareness of the other parts of the cycle. Without awareness, we can't change. So, increasing our awareness can sometimes feel very painful. And people are like, I don't really want to be more aware of this. I want to be less aware of it. Without the awareness, we won't be able to change it. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.